Hello students, myself Ms. Amrita Jadhav, your physics teacher. As you all know that we have covered first two chapters from physics, which is from part 1. First chapter of which was the measurements and units, and second was mathematical methods. By doing all the two chapters, after studying both the chapters, what we came to know up to now, we come to know about the units, we come to know about the dimensions, how to write units, right? And after doing mathematical method, we come to know how the vectors can be represented, how they can be added, how they can be multiplied, what is scalar and what is vector product. Okay, so after studying all of this from first two chapter, we are here with the very important and very usual term which is there inside this chapter, and which is very interesting phenomena, and that is nothing but motion. Basically in physics there are number of motions, not in physics but we study types of motions in physics, right? So which are the types of motion that you all know? First one is very common, circular motion. Then what is the next motion? Oscillatory motion. Then we know vibratory motion, then periodic motion. So there are n number of motion that we usually studied in science, and in that we studied it in physics. So we all are going to deal with the new chapter which is going to tell you more concept and more ideas about this motion. So we are going to study the chapter number 3, which is motion in plane. Okay, now why the additional word is there, plane? Now as you all know that while we are considering any type of motion or any type of displacement, we come to know or we have to consider some directions which are there to describe that displacement, right? While or after studying vectors, we come to know that the resultant vector is there, the position vector is there, which is related to the axis, which is nothing but plane. So even we are going to study the motion in plane. So what is the actual meaning of this, that we are going to deal in this chapter. Okay? So very first part, which is rectilinear motion, is being deleted from this chapter. Okay, after that all the points are included. All points you have to study, but only first point which is there inside the chapter, which is rectilinear, and which is consisting in page number 30 to 36. So this 6 pages from the first this chapter has been deleted. But what happens in that? Even after deleting that, we have to know the concept behind that. So we are going to study the concept which is there inside that, and then we'll move forward towards the main syllabus. Okay, so as you all know that we will deal with the motion, right? So as I told you that circular motion, periodic motion, oscillatory motion, vibratory motion. So n number of motions are there. Even in that, one specific motion is there which is along a single line, which is along a straight line. That is being known as rectilinear motion because it is along a line. So that's why it is known as linear motion. Now, while we are studying a kind of motion, any kind of motion, we have to know some basic concept which is there to describe the motion. And what are they? First one is distance, then path length, then displacement, then velocity, then acceleration. These all concepts should be known to you, right? So very first we'll see what is meaning of distance. As you all know, while we are describing point this and this. Okay, so I will just show you. Okay, so if I point out two positions, first one is A and second one is B. Suppose if I am saying the distance between both of this is 2 centimeters. What I told you, the distance, which is the scalar quantity, it is the measurement between the 2 points, right? It is nothing but 2 centimeters. But while we are studying about motion, we have to consider it in terms of vector quantity. That means when any particle which is traveling from A to B, which will displace 2 centimeters, That means the displacement of any particle from A to B will be 2 centimeter. So displacement, you come to know what is meaning of displacement. Okay. After that, as you all know that, what is meaning of velocity? What is velocity? When we are saying the particle is moving from A to B, what is the speed and with which velocity it is moving? So it depends on two quantities. First one is distance and second one is time. In how much time it covers the distance. So this is nothing but, suppose r is the distance and t is the time, so we are calling it as r by t. Suppose it is in very smaller quantity, so we can call it as delta r by delta t. Okay. Now this is for single, that means this is for only this. Now if we wanted to find out velocities of so many particles, so what we can do? We can do average of that velocity. We count average velocity, right? So what will be average velocity? Average velocity will be velocity which is related to first particle and velocity which is related to n number of particles. How many numbers of particles are there? Suppose I said 3 particles are there. So velocity with respect to V1 will be V1, velocity with respect to second will be V2, and with respect to 3 will be V3. So average of this will be this, right? So this concept is known as average velocity. Okay. So in similar manner you can find out for acceleration also. What is acceleration? Acceleration is change in velocity upon time, right? So it is delta v by delta t. Okay. So this will be in this way. So find out the average acceleration. It will be in similar manner, in the same way. Now as we study about motion, we have to know one more concept which is new to you all, which is while we are studying velocity, we have to know the average velocity as well as the instantaneous velocity. Now what is instantaneous velocity? Velocity at that instant, at that time, that is nothing but instantaneous. To define that, what we do is, suppose we are saying V as that velocity at that point, right? So we have to give some limit to it. Limit delta t tends to 0, delta r by delta t. What is the meaning of that? It is at that instant. Okay. So we have to give some limit to that. So I have given a limit. Suppose I am saying that the displacement is x. So I can just put it here x, as in your textbook it is x over there. And I have written r. It doesn't matter. I am saying that this is the displacement. Okay. Now I am saying this is displacement x. So velocity will be limit delta t tends to 0, delta x upon delta t. Now what is the meaning of limit? Limit delta t tends to 0. That means limit is given to the denominator, right? Denominator is being given as the limit as tends to 0. That means this should not be equal to 0. What happens if this becomes equal to 0? What will happen? This whole term will become infinity, because whenever the 0 comes in denominator, any quantity comes out to be infinity. So this cannot happen. This is not, this should be the finite one, right? So I have given limit to delta t as delta t is tending towards 0, but it is not 0. Okay. So this is nothing but the instantaneous velocity. While we are defining any physical quantity by giving a word instantaneous, we have to give this kind of limit to it. Now to remove this, what I can do, I can write this as dx upon dt. Now what is that? This is differentiation of x with respect to d. Okay, so this is nothing but dx by dt. This you will learn in mathematics. Don't worry about it. Okay, so v is nothing but dx by dt. In same way, you can write acceleration. Suppose acceleration is given by a, so it will be change in velocity upon time. Is it right? So that will be dv by dt. Correct? So these are instantaneous velocity and instantaneous acceleration. Now I am considering that you all come to know all these concepts. right, which are actually deleted part, but you have to know this concept. So I have told you all about it. Now we are going to move towards the next point, which is motion in plane, but it for 2 dimension. We are going to consider the motion according to the 2 dimension in plane. Now what is the 1 dimension, what is 2 dimension? While we are considering anything only in one direction, that means along only one axis, that will be 1 dimensional. While we are saying we are considering any motion in 2 dimensions, that means 2 directions should be given, 2 dimensions, x as well as y, x as well as y. Both axes should be come into consideration in 2 ways. So that is being nothing but in 2 dimensions. Okay, while in considering 3 dimensional, x, y as well as z, 3 axes should be come into consideration. Now we are going to study for 2 dimensions. So I will draw a diagram. By looking at that diagram, we are going to see what is velocity for that, what is acceleration for that, what will be the average velocity, average acceleration, instantaneous acceleration and instantaneous velocity. We are going to see all of this concept in that point. Okay, so I will just draw a diagram and then we'll discuss all the things which is related to that. Okay. So on board you can see the diagram for motion in plane, right? So I haven't written any kind of naming to it because we are going to discuss and then we will write the naming to the diagram. So as you know, this is x-axis, so I will write x over here, right? This is y-axis, so I will write y over here, right? This is O, which is center. Now what we are going to consider is any point which is at distance p. Okay, first we are going to consider the point P. Now we have to know the position of particle which is at point P, right, with respect to x as well as with respect to y. Why? Because 2D is there, we have to consider both the axes. So when the point is at P, it is covered in distance at x axis as x1 and for y axis it is at y1. Okay, this is in time t1. Okay, in time t1, and the displacement is being carried out as r1. In time t1 it covers distance x1, y1, r1. Now after some time, let us take the time as t2, the particle is at q. Okay, so at q the distance at x will be x2, here it will be y2, and time is t2 and it is r2 bar. Okay, so if we are going to consider this is from O, that will be r2, but when we are considering from P to Q, it will be this. This is the whole diagram. Now we are going to consider the equations of all of them. As we have studied in scalars and vectors, we have considered the resolution of vectors. We have studied that. So any kind of vector, when it splits into 2 parts, that is in x, y or in I, j and k, sorry, so it will be known as resolution of vector. So we are going to resolve this vector r, which is the position vector of P, and second r2, which is position vector for Q. Now we'll write the equation for the same. So considering r1 bar, it will be nothing but, which gives you idea about both the axes x and y. So it can be written as this. Can I? Yes, of course. Now how I can write r2 in this way? So we got both the equations for r1 as well as for r2. Now what is the velocity or what is the change in displacement, as you write here? So I can write the delta r as, is it? So what will be r2 bar minus r1 bar? We can just subtract. We have seen all the addition, subtraction, multiplication of vectors. We all have seen that. So just I component will get subtracted, then j components will get subtracted. So we will get is it? Yes. So we got delta r as this. which is x2 minus x1 I plus y2 minus y1 j. So this is it, what we have got. Now we are going to see the average velocity. What is average velocity? So V average, I will write like this. V average is nothing but delta R divided by delta T. Okay, so I will just put this value over here, which is x2 minus x1 I cap plus y2 minus y1 j cap whole divided by what will be the delta T, what will be change in time. As I told you, at P it is at T1 and at Q it is at T2. So change in time will be T2 minus T1. So I can write this as, or I can just write delta T only. Okay, I will just write it and I will just differentiate, or I just separate both the forms, both the equations. So this will be x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t1 I cap plus y2 minus y1 upon t2 minus t1 j cap. So this is what I got for V average, right? So what is this? It is the velocity which is related to x-axis, and this is the velocity which is related to y-axis. So I can write this equation as, I will write here, I am rubbing this. So I can write that equation, this equation as V average is, as this is related to x-axis, V average for x, and second one is V average for y. So did you got this? Yes. Now we are getting this in terms of INJ, that is in terms of direction. If I want the number of this, what is the velocity? That means either it is 20 meter per second, 30 meter per second, 100 meter per second. What is that? To find out that, what we can do, we can find out magnitude. Now how to find out the magnitude? We can find out the magnitude as by taking square root of this. We have already studied this. So in this way we will get the magnitude of velocity. In similar way you can find out for acceleration. Okay, what will be acceleration? I will just tell you. What is acceleration? Acceleration we find out for average first. It will be delta V upon delta T. Am I right? Yes. So that can be written as V2 minus V1 divided by T2 minus T1 I, and plus V2, this is related to x, this is related to y. So in this way you can even find out the acceleration in similar way. Okay, so what we will do right now, we will first see how to write instantaneous velocity. As we have studied, to write down in terms of instantaneous, either we can write in terms of d or in terms of limit. We will write in terms of d itself for the simplicity. So V instantaneous, now I will just say this as dx by dt, right? Am I right? So this is nothing but formula for instantaneous velocity. So as you can see on the book, right? Now if we wanted to consider in 2D, is it enough? No, it is not enough. So this should be I plus dy by dt j. So this will be in terms of 2D, which is this. So okay, I hope you got the motion in plane which is related to both the axes x and y. In similar way you can find out for acceleration. Now if we wanted to find out the direction, that is tan theta, what it will be in terms of velocity, it should be, I am considering that you have studied the second chapter, then only you will come to know all of this, okay. So step by step study all the chapters, then come to this. Directly do not jump to the third chapter. First learn chapter first, then second, then jump to the third chapter, okay. Now tan theta, it will be V average for x axis, no, V average for y axis divided by V average for x axis. So this will give you the direction, which is tan theta, okay. And it will be dy by dt divided by dx by dt. So dt will get cancelled, so you are getting tan theta as, I will write over here, in terms of instantaneous, dy by dt whole divided by dx upon dt. So this will get cut, so you are getting dy upon dx in terms of instantaneous, okay. So this is all about it. You can have a look at the board so that it will be the easier one to understand. I am just telling you in similar way. In this way you can find out acceleration as well. In this way, as you have written V average x plus V average y, in that term you can write acceleration acceleration average at x I plus acceleration average at y j. Similar way, so that will be homework for you all. You have to do something, then only you will come to know the whole idea, okay. So let's have look at all the points, then you can do that for acceleration, okay. Now we are going to see the equations that you all know, kinematic equations. What is that? V is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square. That all equation we are going to derive. So let's see how to derive the equation and what are the equations in terms of 2D. Okay. So let's move towards the next point, which is equations of motion. Now, as we have said that we are going to see the equations of motion. So all we know that equations, okay. For that we have to consider the initial velocity as well as the final velocity. Again, motion. So particle is moving with uniform velocity, uniform motion. Motion is uniform. What is meaning of uniform? Uniformity is nothing but some terms are constant, okay. So in this we are going to say that as the motion is uniform, velocity is constant. Now as the velocity is constant, but it is from initial to final, right? So we are going to consider the velocity at t is equal to 0, and after some time what that velocity becomes. So that will be the final velocity. So I will just write over here, consider u as initial velocity and v as final velocity of any particle which is traveling in 2 dimensions, okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to see what will be the average velocity and what will be the displacement of the same, okay. So for the very first we are going to see acceleration, okay. For the very first we are going to see the acceleration. We will write the all formulas over here. First we will write V average. What is V average? Initial velocity plus final velocity by 2, right? At the very first we have told you that, I have told you that is average will be the addition of the number of quantities divided by the number of terms. So this is u plus v by 2, as 2 quantities are there, initial and final. Now acceleration, what will be acceleration? Acceleration is nothing but dv by dt, that means change in velocity upon time, right? So what is the change in velocity over here? It should be, is it right? Obviously, final minus initial divided by t. So we can solve this equation. After solving, this t will go to a, so at is equal to b minus u. So this comes out to be u is equal to, or ap plus u is equal to v. So I can write v is equal to u plus at. So this is the first kinematic equation. As you all know that v is equal to u plus at. But now in this we are going to see in terms of axis. So for x axis it will be vx is equal to ux plus axt. For y axis it should be vy is equal to uy plus ayt. Okay, did you got this, the first equation? I hope you got the first equation, which is v is equal to u plus at. You can have a look. Okay, now we are going to see displacement, the equation which is related to s. Now s is what? S is nothing but displacement. Basically we call velocity as displacement upon time, right? So how we can find out displacement? S will be v into t. Am I right? This gives you idea about displacement. Now in terms of average, so what it will be? S is equal to v average into t. So let's do that. So we are going to see equation for S, that is the second kinematic equation, and that is, see, S is equal to V average into T. What is V average? U plus V by 2 into T. But we know the equation for V. V is nothing but what? Right now we have seen by looking at this equation. See. Did I? Yes. We have found out the equation for V. We can put this over here. So what I will get? I will get u plus, instead of v I am going to write this, u plus at by 2 into t. Now what I will do? I will multiply all the term by t. Okay. So I will get s is equal to u plus u will be 2u plus at into t divided by 2. Am I right? So this will be 2ut by multiplying it to the first term by 2 plus at into t will be at square divided by 2. This 2 has been cancelled. So we are getting s as ut plus half a t square. So we got the second kinematic equation, which is ut plus half a t square. Again we can write that equation in terms of x as well as y coordinate. So I can write, when it comes out to be for x axis, it will be right. For y axis, yes, so we got equation for 2 dimensions for both the kinematical equation. I will write again V. This I have written again. So this is for velocity and this is for displacement. First equation and second equation of kinematics. Okay, so this is all of this. After this, even one point is there, which is relative velocity. Suppose I am going to relate the velocities of 2 points, A point and B point, for A particle and for B particle. So it will be VAB. Okay, so I will just tell you in short what is the relative velocities. That is actually third point of today's lecture. Okay, so I will just give you idea about that. Related velocity. Suppose I am saying this. velocity of A related with B. So that should be, see, VA minus VB. If I am relating this in inverse way, VBA, so that will be VB minus VA. It is very simple to understand, very easy to understand, very easy to remember. If I am saying AB, so it should be VA minus VB. If I am saying BA, so it should be VB minus VA. What exactly you come to know by looking at both the equations? You come to know that magnitude will be same, but direction will be different. While we are related any velocity from this point to this point, A to B, suppose I am getting value as 20 and I wanted to find out for B to A, value will be 20 but direction is different. From left hand to right hand and from right hand to left hand, obviously it will be same but directions are different. So we are getting the same magnitude but the different directions for related velocities. Okay, so in this particular part we have studied all the introductory part which is related to motion, that is velocity, average velocity, instantaneous velocity, acceleration, average instantaneous acceleration. Then we have studied the motion of particle in plane by considering both the axis x as well as y. Then after doing that we have considered the kinematics equation. By deriving that we have written in terms of x and y, and after that velocities. Okay, so I hope you all got this all three concepts, and if you have any query for this, you can comment. I will solve your query definitely. Okay, thank you so much.